Yeah. Go. So I'll just add a little bit to the introduction that Dan gave. I'm an engineer, but I graduated from University of Missouri, Rolla, several years ago, just like Dan. And then I also went to University of Chicago. Now, combination of those and my work experiences, I have done a lot of analytics. So I started my career in Detroit. I used to design cars, where we did a lot of analytics on designing cars virtually on the computer. Rather than build, break the prototypes, you do analytics using lots of data on the computer. Then I also ran a company that did remote diagnostics. So once the product is launched, we had a software that would monitor whether it's jet engines or something else, capital-intensive equipment, continuously monitor them so you can do diagnosis before dispatch, send the right technician, right parts, that kind of things. So Inferology is my, the reason we started Inferology is exactly to do that. We need to train more and more people on analytics, deep analytical skills, and Inferology allows me to fulfill that mission. Okay. So now the presentation will start controlling me. So, by the way, the razors are, as we all know, commodities, low transaction value item. People buy them infrequently, but the way, for example, Gillette makes money is by selling those, consumables. Same story with the printers. Not a big value item, the printer, but over the life cycle of that printer, the companies make a lot of money over the cartridges. So it's a classic razor blade strategy. Now, in the big data world, physical things need not be consumables. It's really insights as consumables. So big data is really a race to capture, analyze, predict, delight, and then profit from it. Right? So we will go through some examples on how all that happens. But one thing, okay, I'm just getting used to the speed here. So as you see here, big data is essentially a continuous tweaking process between the data that is available and what the business wants to do. For example, in innovation, in branding, and then financial. So it's an iterative process, and from that process, you get a lot of big opportunities. And these opportunities are not just during one transaction or one interaction, but these are opportunities that spread across the entire customer lifetime, from cradle to grave. Or another way to look at it is, once you launch a product, you sold the initial product, you have opportunities throughout the entire product life cycle. Right? By, for example, selling customers uptime. A great example is that we are all familiar with as the social networks. We all use them. They give away these services for free, but on the other side, they charge businesses. The reason they're able to do that is they analyze the content we have posted on there, and then advertisers get to tighten the noose in terms of access, targeting, conversion, and that's how they make money. Another example is Pratt Whitney. Expensive equipment, they make engines, expensive equipment, but at the same time, they operate in an oligopoly environment. Very cutthroat, there is GE, there is Rolls-Royce, but how do they make money? One of the things they do is, rather than just focus on that engine, they try to get data. Once they sell the engine, they monitor the engine data continuously, and then based on that data, they can prevent impending failures, diagnose the right repairmen and parts, and then wrap around a service over the entire life cycle of that engine. Typically, they are 10, 20 years long, and they get to make money throughout the life cycle. Another example is these medical devices. These are commodities, you can find them everywhere. But one way, for example, Philips makes money is by connecting those devices. So I used to be on the board of a company called VNA, Visiting Nurse Association, and one thing the nurses at that organization did was give these equipment to the patients. They monitor, the data is transmitted, analyzed, and the nurses could monitor them along with the rest of the care team, like doctors, and then intervene before something bad happens. So this allows the care team to have higher throughput and also give better outcomes. Right? Another great example is Amazon. They are literally they sell books, but they sell a lot of digital content, and they also sell Kindles. As you will see from the next chart, they're actually losing money on Kindles, and they're projected to lose money on the Kindles. But the great thing about it, this is all the loss they are making on the Kindle, but look at how much profit they're making on the content. The reason they could do this is because they analyze all this data. If they didn't analyze all this data, they would never price it to basically give it away, right? So that's the power of data. And then another example is progressive. Insurance is sort of a commodity. There is a lot of competition. But the way progressive makes money out of this is basically selling you a little device that you can plug into your car, give them permission to monitor your driving habits. They analyze it, customize the underwriting, and give you a customized score, which is basically a win-win for both the customer with better rates and you. This is another way they are leveraging, another company leveraging data to differentiate. So I think the next example that will come up is sports. Okay, so this is the Moneyball effect. So as the CEO of one of the companies that makes this racket is saying that in the future it's not just about the scores, it's about the analytics around the whole, the play. So one company, one innovative company, Vallurupalli, that makes these heavy rackets, the way they are trying to differentiate in the marketplace is create smart rackets. So the racket allows the player to continuously monitor, not people saying, oh, that's a great shot, very qualitative, to moving into something more objective, saying how much spin you had, how much power you had, and then the player gets analytics similar to what you can see a commentator with his teams doing during live play. So in summary, just to discuss some of the business models to think about in this new world of big data where insights are consumed, you could do something like by the hour. In the aerospace industry, for example, in the case of Pratt, because of the way they monitor the data, they can do power by the hour. And then there are business models like product as a service. We talked about Philips and things like that. Now, big data can open up a lot of possibilities, but remember, we all have to be guided by certain morals. If you don't worry about the safety of the customer, the privacy, and legality, then all the sustainable advantages that you gain from big data are pretty much gone. So keep that in mind, okay? And let's chat.